Yeah. Come on. Taylor, here. Taylor, sit. Ellie, heel. Good afternoon, guys. I gotta ask you a question. I'm trying the microphone because it's pretty windy out. Cam Cutters is in. Hi, Cam. Sit. So do me a favor if you would. I've got these microphones in, and it's hard for me to hear sometimes, but let me know if you can hear me, if you can hear me good or not. I'm going to show you guys a couple things quick today. Sit. Sounds good, Chris says. Good. Welcome, Mike. Mike Mecca's in. Chris Hines is in. She can hear me fine. I'm going to show you something here. Sit. So we talked about, the question will be when I get outside, if it's super windy or not, whether or not you guys can hear me. So this is something I wanted to show. We've talked about it in the past, and I wanted to show it to you. It's easy to do. I think it was April that was had maybe an issue with it, with the dog leaving the room, or maybe it wasn't April, but someone said, as soon as I leave the room, my dog's going to break off the place. This is what I was talking about the other night, where you can go into the other room and kind of periscope around the corner, or peek around the corner. I did it with the pup. Derek's in, Chris is in, Brian's in. Welcome, guys. So this is what I was talking about when you can do it through the door. So it's very easy for me to tell these dogs to sit, and they're gonna stay. Okay, they're just sit means stay to them, and they're pretty permanent. The question is once I go inside and I close the door, how permanent are they? So it's very easy for me to do this and have it where Ellie's not sure if I'm here or not. And I can walk around, and I can take a peek at her out the other window and find out if she's staying or not. So she's not sure where I am. And if she sees me in the window, I just stand still for a second. And Taylor's out there solid. So now I can move around here. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to keep these dogs honest. Because they got to understand, just because I'm not out there doesn't mean that they don't have to be there. So she can't see me. So let's see how long it takes for her to realize, you know what, he's not here. Look at right there. So Ellie's response goes, "Oh, he's everywhere." So that wasn't very long before she picked her butt up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to see if this improves. She can't see me. If she could see me, she'd be looking at me. And you got Taylor out there. Now eventually, Taylor usually will lay down because she knows she's in for the long haul. Ellie, on the other hand, has had a tendency to, when I'm gone, all of a sudden she goes, I guess the rules have changed a bit. So these are good ways of testing the dog that are real easy to extend their abilities to work through distractions when you're not there. It's real easy to behave when I'm standing right next to them. But what I need to be able to do is get to the point with these guys that they're on remote sit regardless of whether I'm here or not. And I might go and end up having to do something different. And I don't want to worry about when I don't pay attention 100% to them that they lose their focus and their attention to do their job. Rhett joined in, Roger's in, Steve Aiken joined, George Sievers is in. So this is kind of the boring beginning. So I'm going to give you an idea of what we're going to do today. I do have the liver thawed out. I don't have a partner. I need a partner to do it with the puppy for the first time. So I'm going to try to do that this afternoon. I'm going to be heading to the shop later. I'm going to make some retrieves. So when this dog starts turning her head and looking around, I start to pay a lot of attention to her because she's going, oh, what's that? What's this? That might be more interesting than what I'm doing right now. So I need to be sure that the second she moves, I'm right there, like she did earlier. The second she moves, I'm there to catch her. So this is just keeping them honest. Roger's in, Marky Phelps is in, Jacob Burris, welcome. So today, the thing that I'm going to do here, in addition to this remote sit from another room, or really from the inside of the house and they're outside. So this is a nice distraction for the old dogs too. Lots of scents, lots of stuff out there. Hey, Stephanie. Carrie's in. So I want to make sure that they're able to work through that. The puppy, I wouldn't do this quite yet with. I won't do it with her being outside. Vicky's in. Hi, Vicky. The puppy, I would do it in the other room, and I would put her on place and do it. I'd probably getting to the point where her sit might be able to step out of the room for a second. If they lay down, do you correct it or not? Not a chance. I let them. Laying down to me is a sign of I'm going to be here a while. So I don't discourage that at all. It tells me when I see the dogs lay down, it tells me that they get it. They get that sit means stay. Remember, we're setting ourselves up for down the road. I will call a dog off a sit down the road once they understand it, and I'm really confident in their steadiness. I won't call the puppy off a sit right now. I don't want to compromise. It's too gray for her. It's too confusing. So we're building up that sit to be very, very permanent. So here, Taylor's getting kind of settled in and comfortable. Now she goes into a big scratch. Let's see how she comes out of it. I got a feeling that she'll get to the point here pretty quick where she's going to say, I might as well just lay down. And Ellie's doing a pretty nice job too. So after a while of doing this, I'll come outside and we'll just keep moving. Joe says he's learning a lot from the live broadcast. I'm glad, Joe. Joe, you might be kind of new to these too. I'm not sure if I've seen your comments that often. I've gotten to know a core group of people on these really well. Welcome if you are new. And I encourage you guys to share these. Share these to anybody you think these might help. Today we're talking about some stuff with older dogs. We talk a lot about the stuff with the puppy, and this thing kind of started with the puppy spry. That's going to continue. And the nice part about that is it's going to be, you're going to see very slow changes over long periods of time. Baby steps, very, very little baby steps. But the cool part is when we take a look back, which I did the other day, I took a look back at 3 weeks ago and saw the difference of where we are today, where we were 3 weeks ago. That's inspiring to me to see major differences and major changes. That's the point. The point is to say that you're going to see minimal changes from day to day, but when you get to more of a macro development, you're going to see bigger changes. So these guys are doing pretty good with this. You could do this as long as you want. James Lewis joined in. Renee Mullins is in. Welcome. Joe Martin. Stephanie. April's in. She made it. Mark shared it. I appreciate that, guys. That's the way we grow these things, is by having participation, having people share it. So you can see her little nose is actually running right now, and I think she's just working hard. She's smelling all sorts of stuff, but resisting a lot of temptation. So you can do this as long as you want or as short as you want. I do it as long as you can without failing, and then build off of that. That's my objective. Taylor, Ellie, I had to correct here a minute into it, and since then she's been pretty solid. So that shows that she gets it. She goes, well, I can't really go anywhere. He's going to be here. So you can wait as long as you want for this. I'm going to take her out. I'm going to go outside. Becky's in. Welcome, Becky. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to get started with what I want to talk about today is trailing memories, and I'm going to show you it with these dogs because I know we've gotten into retrieving, and today I'm going to show some retrieving with Spry at the warehouse. My plan is to go to the warehouse after this, and I will be making some puppy retrieves, and then my plan is to do that liver drag this afternoon. Hopefully is what my plan is. But the retrieves with the little dogs are one thing. Look who decided to go permanent. So it took her a little while, but she did. You know what? I'm here. This dog might do it real soon too. But what I am going to do is I want to show, because I think a lot of people have seen the retrieving start, and then what I'm seeing a lot of is throwing the antler dummy, throwing the antler dummy, throwing the antler dummy. And it's great. We're conditioning in a little retrieve. We're conditioning in that the shape of the antler equals a retrieve. We're doing it in a really positive way. It's exactly why we're doing it. For some of you guys that have older dogs, I think that you already are retrieving, and you might be getting into the shape conditioning now. Maybe you picked up an antler dummy and now you're starting to shape the idea of the dog to understand that what it looks like is that's going to get it a retrieve. That's great. But the retrieving part for you isn't new. Your dog understands how to retrieve. So just by throwing a training dummy doesn't get dogs to understand how to shed hunt. It gets them to understand that that equals a retrieve. The problem is the next step most people go and they hide it. They can add scent to it, which is fine. That's what we do. But they put scent on it and they hide it. And then their dog struggles with it. And then they email me and they go, how come this doesn't work? Because you're going from A to Z. I had this come up several times this week, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's because we started retrieving with the puppy. And so people have gotten the idea of, oh, that's what I need to do next. I need to get that training dummy, get the antler shape going. I'm going to throw it for the dog. And they have success with it because it's something that your dog already knows how to do. He already knows how to retrieve, and it's just a new shape. But then they hide it, and then they have failure, and they go, where am I missing? So trailing memory is the answer. It's in the is one of the answers. I added a chapter to our book that comes with the training kit. I added it's a chapter, it's 3 pages, but describing the trailing memory because I think it's so important, and I didn't have it in there to begin with. So we revised it because that question came up so much, and so many people are having problems with. They were working their dog. She's gonna work into a lay down, I think. But what they were doing was they were going from throwing the training dummy to hiding the training dummy, and they were having problems with it. See how she perked up? I got a feeling there's probably chickens or ducks over there, and that's a nice distraction for her as well to have to sit through. So I added it into the training booklet. The training booklet is the booklet that comes with the training kit, and then I also stress it. I talk a lot about it in the training DVD. Both the shed DVD is where I talk a lot about trailing memories. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it to you. So here's what's interesting is the stuff that I talk about in our DVDs and in our training booklets, I'm going to show every one of those steps, but they're probably going to take a long time to get there because Spry's not quite there, and I just can't spend as much time walking through every step. So eventually you're going to see it with these dogs and with Spry as she develops. The nice part about the DVD is you can kind of go and skip to wherever it is or wherever you want to be with your dog or wherever you happen to be with your dog. So, but this is part of those. Cody's in, Vanessa's in, Nicole is in, Rachel Susan joined in, Christy Isker's in. So I'm satisfied with this remote sit. I'm satisfied with the idea that Taylor decided to go, you know what, I'm not going anywhere. I'll lay down and relax. Ellie got corrected once and has been rock solid since. I think eventually she'll lay down and fall asleep if I leave her. But I'm going to come out and I'm going to start this. And the question I'm going to have for you guys is if you can hear me when it gets windy. So I got this mic thing on right now, which I'm hoping helps. Hoping it helps cut the wind. So I'm going to come up to Ellie. I don't know, flip it around yet. I'm going to heel her over. Actually, before I do this, I'm going to grab the tripod. So here's another test for her on a remote sit of whether or not she can wait it out for me to leave and come back. And you can see that she passed that test. So this is something that's very easy for you guys to do to keep your dogs honest and start extending times. I think we get in ruts where I put the dog on sit and I leave her there and my little internal clock starts. So I'm going to leave her right there. And I'm just going to move around the yard here. I'm going to get this set up. And this is just an extension of these guys having to sit and stay. So I'm going to have you guys let me know if the sound is all right now that I'm out in the wind. It's not nearly as windy as it has been, but it was. So if you could let me know If you can hear this all right. I'm going to come back and I'm going to get Ellie. Ellie, heel. Now, control is not going to be sacrificed at any point during this. So usually what I like to do when I start out is I like to get lots of control here. Sound is good. Sound is good. Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to start out with, I'm just going to heel her around. Heel. Because you can see she's pretty lively, as she should be. I haven't worked with her much this week. So I don't want her sniffing. I don't want her attention somewhere else. So I'm literally just walking her around my yard. She's anticipating it. Here's where it's going to get windy. I'm going to try to stay in the front yard as much as I can. Have the wind block a little bit. So all the while that we're on heel, my little girl Taylor here has just got to sit and watch. Heel. So this is a nice little lesson for Taylor too. Just being patient. Just fine on the wind, good. This mic thing, I think I finally got it to work. I just didn't know how to use it. So I just took her just for a short walk. I just walked her around the house. Not much of a burn off. I usually do a little bit more. When I say burn off, I don't mean you just let the dog go run. I think a lot of people want to just let their dog run. Burn some energy off and then they can focus. Well, that might be true. The problem I have with it is that you're just conditioning in a habit. The habit is going to be when we come out to get started, the first thing I do is just really stretch out and run. There's no control in that. So I want to be really careful and make sure that I stay in control. So I don't like getting in that habit. Brian Weezy joined in. Okay. So here's what I want to do. First I'm going to flip this around. And you'll notice she stays right put. I got dogs that are pretty steady. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. I'm hoping you can see this. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to use some edge. So it doesn't look real drastic right now, but along this line here is kind of an edge. It's a natural edge. Okay? I like using edges. I like using fence lines. I like using let's see if you can see this. I like using fence lines, I like using driveways, I like using roads. I like straight stuff because it helps my dog figure out straight lines. So, Ellie, come here. I'll call Ellie over. Come on. Good girl. Now, what we've been working on is throwing them, and everyone's been throwing them. That's good because it starts this thing out. I left my other glove inside. So, I'm using a brown dummy today, okay? And what I'm going to do is I am going to put a little scent on it. Just because the wind is coming this way, going that way. And eventually, switch this out to the point that it's in cover. She's going to have to use her nose to get it. I'll show you guys how much I put on. I don't put a ton. I put enough though. So now what I want to do is actually I'm going to bring this with me. Ellie heel. Because I'm going to start down at the end. And I'm going to show you how I'm able to add distance real easily. So lots of, actually now that I think about it, there's lots of stuff we're going through in this simple trailing memory. And it starts with heel. It starts with a remote sit. I have to have all that stuff in order to do these things. That's why it's hard to do this. I can't do a trailing memory with Spry right now. She doesn't know how to heel well enough. Sit. She doesn't know how to heel well enough. She doesn't know remote sit well enough. She doesn't know how to recall well enough. So I can't do these with her yet. I got to build the foundation. But if you guys have a dog that has the foundation, you can get right into this stuff. So here's how I'm going to throw this as far as I can. You can see there's cover. It's brush and grass. So this is hard for her to see. Bright white would stand out in there. This brown one is going to be hard to see. That's about as far as I can throw it. Unless I really put something into it. But now, I'm going to have my whistle always ready. You get really good at talking. You're just like a referee. Referees walk around with a whistle in their mouth like they don't have nothing in their mouth. Dog trainers end up doing the same thing. So I get pretty good at it. I get used to it in my mouth. I got it in my mouth in case I got to get her on a whistle. You'll remember she stops to a whistle. She does a bunch of stuff to the whistle. So if I need it, I got to have it ready. If I got it down here and something happens, I go, I need the whistle. I got to reach down and put it in. Too late, you missed it. You're too late. So you got to have this thing ready. So you get used to it. So I'm going to line her up. She hit that tree line and worked short. So she's gonna have to hunt that tree line now. Now the wind is at her back, complete disadvantage. There she's working a little deeper in. She's way short. My dogs struggle with marking because I don't do very many of them. That's a drill that we could work on marking with her and get her better at it. Probably should, probably will. See how she hunted short? She continues to hunt short. It's that tree line. It's an invisible barrier for her. Trailing memories fix that. I'll show you why. I'll show you how. But let's let her get this. Let's let her work to pick this one up. Way off to the right. She's still short. She's gonna have to come into that cover to get downwind of it. Good. Good. Hold. 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 See how awful her hold is? See how she's got that, dummy? Hold. 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 Did. So, took her a while to find it. She hunted way short. I didn't touch her. I didn't do nothing. I let her work. Eventually, she got through the little tree line deep enough, got downwind and found it. It was all nose, right? We put scent on it. It was all nose. It had to be because there's no way she saw it and she worked down to it and then back into it. So we can throw. Now I'll do this again. I'm going to do it again. Exact same thing. I landed it probably within 5 feet of where it was the first time. That's about as far as I can throw it in that motion. So I'm going to line her up again. Let's see how much better she gets at this one. It's getting through that little tree line that she needs to. Ellie. Once again, she hits short. Now she's going to have to work through it. See how quick she works through it. Good. Now she's actually beyond it, so she's going to have to work back into it with the wind. There's her nose. There, she smelled it. Find it. Find it. Find it. Good. Good. Hold. 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 Did. Good. That one was real clear. Again, I don't think she worked it very well. My dogs are not real strong markers. They don't mark that well. The reason they don't mark that well is because I don't throw very much stuff for them. I get them to want to work and hunt the ground, pick up with their nose, hunt the ground, pick up with their nose. I do most of my retrieves as memories. So, I gotta put this on, it's getting cold. I'm gonna do it one more time because I want this to be better than that. So, same thing. It's gonna land in the same spot. We're gonna see if she gets better at it.